Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Gold Label Walmart exclusive Vampire Batman. This is Batman from DC vs. Vampires, which is a limited series which just ended. Now when I first saw Vampire Batman on the leaked list, I thought it was going to be Batman from Red Rain, and I think McFarlane would do an awesome job with that version. But we have the more modern Vampire Batman instead. And from what I read, Batman doesn't actually become a vampire in the DC vs. Vampire storyline, so a little confused what this is based off of. If anyone knows, drop me a line in the comments below. Obviously it's based off that miniseries, but if he doesn't become a vampire in that, why did they make a figure of that? It is a cool figure, but I'm a little curious. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Corey for finding this at Walmart for me. I've been shopping at the Corey Mart. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. This is a McFarlane Gold Label Collection, DC Multiverse Batman. Here he is in the package. He has a display stand, a collector's card, and then a large axe. One side of the package, Batman DC vs. Vampires. Other side simply says Batman. Walmart has this annoying sticker on top of the package. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's the Vampire Batman, looking sick, if I may say so. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we get this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, and then a giant battle axe. But before I take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is a Vampire Batman from DC vs. Vampires. Although I don't believe Batman actually got turned into a vampire during that storyline. I think this figure is simply based off cover art. Either way, it makes for a really cool figure. Looks like he's based off of the Batman 3 Jokers and Batman Hush body. A little bit too tall Batman body, but beyond that, it's almost perfect. So let's take a look. I'll start with his face here. It looks fantastic. Bloody, red eyes. Blood dripping out of his mouth. He's got a little bit of damage, some bloody gashes on the top of his head. Very, very nice. Looks great so far. You're not going to be able to use this guy as a battle damage Batman, but he's an evil, sick deranged Vampire Batman. Medium length ears on the cowl. Like I said, it's that Hush Batman body. A little bit too large. We'll check that in detail later. I anticipate to be the exact same thing, with different hands, different head, maybe a different cape. Darker outfit, looks pretty nice. Utility belt looks fantastic. He's got the darker trunks, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. Overall, very nice looking Batman figure on a very familiar body. Now for a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Looks really nice. He's going to go cool with the deceased figures. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. He's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin. Very basic. And now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Vampire Batman. Batman from DC vs. Vampires. On the back side, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. The description mentions nothing about vampires. Now we have his battle axe. It's a large axe. It's got the bat symbol in the middle, two blades on the top. Let's go further down. Nice sculpt and detail. And it comes to a little point there. A nice blade, maybe silver, maybe for killing vampires. Here's Batman holding that battle axe. He only has the one gripping hand, so he's only going to be able to hold it with one hand at a time. Now I wanted to check out the reuse of this figure. So, here he is, next to the Hush Batman. This body was first used with the Year 2 Batman, then the 3 Jokers Batman, and now the Hush Batman. These two figures have the exact same legs. Looks like the trunks are the same, utility belt's the same, the chest and torso area is the same. Looks like the arms are the same, hands are different. Even the cape appears to be the same. So these are 100% the same figure with the exception of the hands and the head and the paint job. And all 5 of these figures use the same base body and buck. We have the Year 2 Batman, both variations of the 3 Jokers Batman, the Hush Batman, and now the Vampire Batman. There's also a blue and gray variant of the Hush Batman using the same body. Some people already have that. That's going to be the next one I'll get. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. And he's on this Hush Batman 3 Jokers body, which is a little bit too tall. So this Batman's going to be a little bit bigger than his fellow McFarlane DC Multiverse counterparts. From bottom to the top of the head, standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, just about 7.5 inches tall. Now for his articulation. Start with this head here, and I'm not a big fan when the head and neck is one solid piece, but they do give it a good range of motion. Can rotate from side to side. Up, not much. Down about that far. Can tilt from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got the McFarlane butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, covering up that large gap and increasing the range of motion. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. They go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion in his torso area. Legs does splits, not ball joints, but a similar type idea. Rotation is minimal. You go forward, about that far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here, forward and back. Rotate, tilt rock, and he has toe articulation. For this next scene, we're going to switch to a church-type diorama. Vampire in a church, kind of poetic, and a closer look at this vampire Batman in a church of Gotham. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other vampire Batman figures. Here's this DC versus Vampires Vampire Batman, next to the Mattel Batman Unlimited Vampire Batman from Red Rain. This is from a different source material, both Vampire Batman. The Mattel one is far too small. Now I really wish I had the DC Direct Red Rain Batman. It's a very nice figure. He kind of reminds me of the DC Direct, DC Essentials, Deceased Zombie Batman. We have a Vampire Batman, a Zombie Batman. What's next? Frankenstein Batman. But now let's get back to some McFarlane DC Multiverse comparisons. He also reminds me of the Blackest Night Batman. This is a dead, deceased zombie Batman that's reanimated with a Black Lantern ring. An evil Batman figure. McFarlane never makes those. Actually, he makes a shit ton of those. Here's his Vampire Batman, next to all the different variations of the evil Batman hybrids from the Dark Knight's metal. Here's Vampire Batman, next to Owlman. Owlman is the epitome of an evil Batman. Pretty much the opposite of Batman from another multiverse. And here he is, next to Omega. Omega is kind of like an evil Batman. It's an evil Bruce Wayne, but he's not technically Batman anymore. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to Eradicator from Shockwave. These are the 2 most recent Walmart exclusive figures that are showing up together. Gold label. And here he is, next to the Target exclusive Deadman and Flashpoint Aquaman. Then, next to the Shazam 2 movie Shazam and the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin. And here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. And here he is, next to the 2 most recent Mega figures, Frankenstein and Mongol. Then, next to the most recent McFarlane Gaming Wave, we have the Arkham City Sick Joker and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. And now, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, we have the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. Here's Vampire Batman with the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. Now let's check him out with some of the most recent collective build waves. Here he is with the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate wave, collective build Starro the Conqueror. And here he is next to the Speed Metal wave, collective build The Darkest Night. And now, next to the Batman Arkham City wave, collective build an undersized Solomon Grundy. And here, next to the Walmart exclusive gold label variants of the Batman Arkham City wave. Now let's check him out, next to some Page Punchers. Here he is, next to the 3rd wave of Page Punchers. This is a Flash themed wave. we've got Flash, Atom, Heatwave, Gorilla Grodd, and both versions of Captain Cold. And here, next to the second wave of page punchers, these were based off Injustice 2, we have Batman and Green Arrow. Then, next to the first wave of page punchers, this is a Black Adam themed wave. We've got Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. Here's this Batman, next to a couple of recent Target exclusive figures, Ocean Master, and the 30th anniversary of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. And here he is, with even more recent Target exclusive figures. We have the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern from Changing of the Guard, Defiance Deathstroke, the Black Adam movie Black Adam with Throne, and the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman variant. And finally, let's check them out with some other Walmart exclusive Gold Label figures. Now, these Walmart exclusives can be a real pain in the ass to find and track down. They're like my kryptonite. Most McFarlane DC Multiverse figures are really easy to get, and most exclusives are too. Amazon exclusives, McFarlane Toy Store exclusives, hell, the Target exclusives are easy to get. But Walmart's system is far too disorganized. These guys are impossible to find at stores. They can't punch in the numbers and bring them out for you. They don't put them on their website. Walmart exclusives are my kryptonite, and I'm happy to check these ones off the list finally. Now let's check them out. Next to some other vampire figures I have in my collection. Since we already checked them out with Mattel's Vampire Batman, here he is, next to the recently released NECA Universal Monsters Dracula figure. Then, with an older Toy Biz Marvel Legends Dracula, and here, next to a Toy Biz Marvel Legends Blade. Here he is, next to a custom Nocturna. Nocturna is a Batman rogue. She's a female with vampire-type qualities. And here, next to Drusilla and Darla, a couple of vampires from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Here's this Batman, next to a NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Universal Monsters, Splinter as Van Helsing. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you will know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, here's Batman, next to a half-eaten pack of saltine crackers. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, staying with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, he's a pretty cool figure. He's cool, but not necessary in my collection. I really like the darker Batsuit. The vampiric face with the blood, red eyes looks great. Reutilizing that Year 2 Hush and 3 Joker's Batman body, and I'm sure this won't be the last time. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. His accessory, the big battle axe, doesn't do too much for me. Articulation is everything you would expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Mostly because of the cool and wow factor, but he's really not necessary. I'm not going to get a ton of use out of him. Although Batman's a vampire bat, it all works out pretty nicely. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.